What's up, everyone? It's Michael Fight, and welcome to my review of Suicide Squad. Alright guys, so I'm just going to go ahead and say it right off the bat. You can end the video now if you want, if you don't want to see my very special guest that I have at the end, but Suicide Squad was awful. It was just bad. Normally, when I see movies that are really, really bad, I like to try to, show you some good about it and be like, well, you should still go see it and make your own judgment. No, don't go see this movie. It's that bad. So, first off, I'm going to go in and say that it was very obvious that they went back and reshot this and threw in a bunch of elements that they saw that worked in Marvel films. They're like, jokes work in Marvel films. Let's go ahead and make a bunch of jokes. Except they hired a bunch of writers from the 70s that made just a bunch of shit jokes that nobody, I repeat, nobody in the theater laughed. Not even once. My theater was almost full. It was about half full. There was even people in Joker garb, in Harley Quinn garb. Nothing. Nobody laughed once. Nobody made a sound. Nobody applauded at the end of the movie. Nobody came out of the film talking about how great it was or the cool scene that they saw. Literally nobody said a thing in this entire film. It was silent because it was bad. Jokes were horrible one-liners that were teed up and you were like, why are you making this joke right now? Like, I don't understand. Half of them looked like they came right out of a Dolph Lundgren film. Hell, I would have rather Dolph Lundgren been in this film. At least then I could be like, well, I mean, Dolph Lundgren was in it. Not Will fucking Smith. Will Smith, guys. Will Smith was in this movie. He's a great actor. He's probably one of the only redeeming parts of this movie because this movie really should have been Deadshot and Suicide Squad kind of shows up in the film. 3 of the characters they just forgot about and stopped talking about. There's a scene where they show where one of the villains is trying to show them all the things, that they truly want in life. And they just left out 3 of the Suicide Squad. They didn't even mention what they actually wanted. They were inconsequential to the plot. In fact, one of them showed up and you were like, why are you even here? You're not actually a bad person. You weren't in the prison that they were bringing out. You're kind of a good person, but sort of, and you're kind of a metahuman, but not really. But like, why are you here? You have no point of being here. You had 3 lines, and you didn't forward the plot in any way whatsoever. You weren't funny. You weren't good looking. Your action scenes were nil at best. So like, why are you here? Like, what is it you say you do here? So not only is the writing bad, the writing was really bad. So I'll go out on a limb and say, yes, it's a supernatural film, and it's, yeah, of course, why didn't the bad guy with all sorts of, fantastic metahuman magical powers just kill the people? Blah, whatever. But putting that aside, a lot of it was kind of like, what is it exactly you're doing? Like, what is the goal of what you're doing? Like, yeah, I get it, you're a bad guy and you're mad at the world and you want to, take it back over, but like, why? Like, it wasn't any redeeming factor. Like, the villain of the film, like, you see all of 3 times. Like, legit. And one of those times is in the final fight, which was probably the worst scene of the whole movie, because it was bland. It was bland fighting scene. The action, poor at best. Now, let's get to the Joker. Jared Leto's Joker, I would say the best thing about Jared Leto's Joker is his laugh. His laugh was eerie. It sent chills down my spine, and that was the only redeeming part of the entire Joker. Now, I'm not saying this because I am a purist and I wanted, Heath Ledger Joker, or I wanted Nicholson Joker, or I wanted animated series Joker. I'm saying this because the Joker was just nothing. He had no character to him. He had no rhyme or reason for even being in the film, to be quite honest, because he's not the bad guy of the film. He just kind of shows up every so often, and they're like, oh, the Joker's here. Well, the Joker's gone. Let's just go on with the main plot of the film. Like, he just kind of showed up for no real reason whatsoever. And the majority of the movie, I spend my time wondering, like, why is the Joker even here? Now, there's the whole aspect of Harley Quinn and the Joker and their relationship, and they have this sort of obsessive relationship, and there are a few scenes where you see Harley Quinn and the Joker, but I didn't really get that they were in love, per se. It actually just kind of seemed like she was a sidekick that he just didn't want to get rid of because she's kind of crazy, too. I didn't feel that they were in love. I didn't really feel that she was in love with him, although they actively showed scenes to make me feel that way. I didn't feel it. I didn't feel the passion between them. I didn't feel the obsessive psychotic nature of it. In fact, Joker himself just seemed like a gangster. like a straight up thug. He just felt like a thug to me. He didn't feel like a crazy person. He just felt like what I would see of any other typical gangster that just doesn't want to put up with shit. And I'll be honest, I was upset by it. So my criticism is that pick one. Either have the Joker in and make him go all out, or just fucking leave him out of the film, because he didn't need to be in the film. He didn't. As for Ben Affleck and Batman, he also did not need to be in the film. And I know a lot of critics and a lot of people are saying, like, we get to see Batman from the bad guy's point of view. Be like, no, actually we didn't. We saw Batman for all of 3 seconds, and you know what? I didn't fucking care. I didn't even care that he was in the film. He had no purpose whatsoever being in the film. Now I'm going to criticize Killer Croc. His body was really weird. It was misproportioned from his head. I get that he's supposed to be like a deformed monster, but like he didn't seem menacing to me in a physical aspect. Like if I saw him, I'd be like, you kind of got chicken arms. Like he had my body. Like it was just kind of weak and small, and I was like, And he was like average height. By the way, he also said maybe all of 2 lines, one of which was completely incomprehensible, and nobody mentioned anything. He said something, and I was just like, what did he just say? I don't understand. And nobody said anything in the film about, like, what did he say? So it was really weird. Anyways, so to talk about this actual film, guys, I was severely, I would like to say disappointed, but that means to imply that I thought this movie was going to be great. I knew going in that this movie wasn't going to be fantastic, but I'll be honest, I thought it was going to be a cheap thrill, and it was nothing but cheap. It was very, very cheap at best. So, guys, don't go see it. So, to redeem it, I actually got the real Harley Quinn. I have Harley Quinn with me. Guys, let's go ahead and take a look at when I got to speak to the real Harley Quinn, guys. Here we go. Alright guys, so I have Harley Quinn here, guys. The actual Dr. Harlan Quinzel is here, and she's going to talk a little bit about the movie. Thank you very much for joining me, Dr. Harlan Quinzel.
You can call me Harley. Everybody else does.
Alright, Harley. Well, thank you very much for joining me. I really appreciate you and getting your insight into the movie, where we get to see your character finally on the big screen in real life. So what was it like seeing you being portrayed up on the big screen?
It was actually amazing. It was like seeing my life flash before my eyes without having to be on my medication.
So I mean, it kind of was a part of your life, you know, when you joined the Suicide Squad and that whole ordeal. So how do you think they did of showing that part of your life and being a part of the Suicide Squad?
I think that there could have been a little more me, but I think they did a pretty good job of it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's good. So how about not only seeing your character, but seeing your beloved Joker? What was it like seeing him on the screen?
Mike Putton. It was so great. He didn't have nearly enough parts. I mean, they totally wasted Mr. J.
I completely agree with you on that. I thought the Joker should have been in a lot more of that. So moving forward, what would you like to see of yourself in the rest of the DC universe? What would you like to see of you?
Well, I like to see more of me and Mr. J. I would also like to see Red in there too. You know, the cat coming back wouldn't be so bad either.
Ah, yes, yeah, Catwoman and everything, sure.
I mean, get a little Gotham Sirens in there.
I agree. I think that should be a thing. I think Poison Ivy and Catwoman, I think that should have been a movie, should be a movie happening soon.
I think we should get our own movie.
I completely agree. I actually think you should, because I'll be honest with you, I wasn't a really big fan of this movie. I think,
wait,
you know,
you weren't?
Yeah, no, I didn't really think it was a good movie, actually.
I thought it was enjoyable. There was lots of explosions, and you got to see Deadshot and
there was a lot of Deadshot in the movie.
El Diablo was in there too.
He had a line or two.
Yeah.
I think overall though, I don't think it was a very good movie. I thought it was actually really bad.
Well, I disagree with you.
Well, I mean,
I think it was fantastic. Well, maybe not fantastic. You ever see that movie with that guy Liam Neeson whose daughter gets taken away?
Taken.
Yeah, that one.
Gotcha. So
It was enjoyable like that.
it was an action romp, is what you're implying.
I think if you just turned off your brain or do take your medication, it was just as enjoyable as that.
Honestly, I think I would like to be on most of your medication to ever have to see that movie again. That was,
Well,
quite bad, actually.
I'm pretty sure they'll come out with a director's cut and it will be much better than the actual theatrical release.
The Suicide Squad Ultimate Edition, where they add in all the jokes that they rewrote after Civil War came out, and they realized that they needed it to be funny.
Maybe some other characters would have more lines.
or any in general, Killer Croc.
He was there.
Yeah, he did show up for the movie in the second half. He said something, I think. The one time I actually understood him.
I think he said he was pretty.
I think that was the one line I actually understood of Killer Croc, outside of his wavy chicken arms.
Yeah.
I think I can bench press more than the Killer Croc could in that movie.
He definitely skipped leg day.
Yeah, and arm day, and chest day, and shoulder day.
He did not miss neck day.
He did not miss neck day. No, he did not. That's absolutely true. Well, I'm sorry to say that I thought your movie was horrible, and I wish that your character was better in it. I wish that Joker was better in it.
I'm sorry, but you wish my character was better?
I don't think...
I think I did an excellent job. Well, Margot Robbie playing me, and I think she did an excellent job. It was a nice combination between the animated series and the New 52.
I just think it was bad. I think the whole thing was bad.
You know what? I know what would make it better. Always favorite. Oldie but a goodie.